Alright guys, welcome to the first documentation video on the Unblock Me slash Unblock Jelly source code. So to get started, basically I want to make this first video on just go a brief overview of what you're getting and how to go ahead and set up the project and just get started with running the project in Eclipse. So if you don't know, this project is built with libgdx, and libgdx is basically an engine that is compatible or that runs code on iOS, desktop, and Android. And so yeah, this is the engine it's built with. And as you see here, it uses Eclipse. And yeah, so today I'm just going to show you how to go ahead and set up the basics of the project, how to go ahead and install Eclipse. You pretty much can Google that, so I'm not really going to show you how to do it. Make sure you have Java installed, which is important. You should just about have it installed. Most people have it installed. That's like a necessity on most machines. But the next thing you do, you want to make sure you have the Android SDK downloaded and the Android plugin installed in Eclipse. And also, again, you can Google that. And it's like thousands of tutorials on how to do that and how to install it on Eclipse. Pretty easy. And the second thing you want to do is if you have the iOS version of the source code, you want to make sure that you have the Xcode installed. So Xcode, as you know, is only compatible with a Mac computer or OS X computer, and you need that. So you have to have Xcode installed to have it run successfully, and you also need to have a $99 development license from Apple begin to begin testing also on the real device. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to show you guys how to import the projects and how to go ahead and get started. So go ahead and open up Eclipse, start off with a fresh workspace, and just to make sure, I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to install RoboVM. And RoboVM is really easy to install. So the first thing you want to do is you need to, I'm going to provide a link. One second. So yeah, so I'm going to provide a link inside of the source code, inside of the documentation, and that link will be the link you need to add to your workspace in order to use it to download RoboVM and use the correct nightly build. So just go ahead and open up Eclipse, go to Help, and go to Install New Software. You guys have to excuse my sniffles here. I just got over a cold a few days ago, and I'm just going to copy. What's this link here? Yeah. So I'm just going to copy this link here, and this is the link that you need to use to download all of the to download and install RoboVM. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and as you can see, it's an update available. Anytime you see like the little arrows like that going in a circle, it means an update available. So I'm just going to put this in the documentation for you. I'm going to go ahead and put that right. I'll put it right here. Actually, I'll put it here. Let's put RoboVM link and put it right there. There you go. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and install this. So I already have it installed. So if you don't, what you want to do is you're just going to go ahead and check this box and hit next, and go ahead and install it. And like I said, you have to if you're using the iOS version, you need to install this. If you only are using the Android version, you do not need the RoboVM. This is only for iOS. So yeah, so you just continue with the installation, and then you'll probably need to restart Eclipse. And once you restart, you should have RoboVM installed. And if you, just to make sure, I believe, I'm not really sure though. I think it's a way you can tell. It's a way you can tell if you have it installed, but you should have it installed. Once you finish the installation, you should be good to go. So let's go ahead and import the project. So the first thing we want to do is you want to go to File and Import, and you want to go to General, Existing Projects into Workspace. So the first thing we're going to work on, we're going to go ahead and get the we'll just start with the iOS because they're all the same, the iOS and the Android. You're going to import them all the same. So you're just going to simply navigate to wherever you saved your source code that you downloaded from Chupa Mobile, and I actually saved mine in my documents folder because I'm actually the creator. So, and I have a folder here, source code, and we're just going to do the iOS version. And as you see here, you have an assets folder, documentation, graphic source files. The graphic source files is basically like the graphics for everything. So yeah, this contains pretty much all the graphics that you'll need for the game. And so yeah, we don't want to go there, but we need to go to the assets and not build. We need to go to the source here. And when we're in the source, we need to go ahead and do open. And as you see here, we have a few things. We have a assets folder. Now this folder we're not going to import. This folder basically just holds all the graphics that we need for our game for the iOS version. We have a Facebook SDK, we have an in-app purchase SDK, MoPub SDK, and all these are bindings. So you need to import all these also. And you see here we have the Unblock Jelly main project. We have the desktop project. You can use this for like testing if you're reskinning the game. And as you see here, you have the Robo VM. So go ahead and click on the source folder here and go ahead and do open. And when you open, you should see all these show up in the same place. You should see Facebook, iOS, all this stuff, in-app purchase, MoPub. You need all of those. So go ahead and import all of those. And by the way, this project works only works with MoPub. So as you know, MoPub works with Chart Boost. It works with, you name it. It works with pretty much everything. It works with MoPub, Chart Boost, RevMob, AdMob, GrayStripe, everything. It pretty much works with every SDK. So the reason why I use MoPub is because you can use any type of network with them. So it makes it a lot easier than to integrate separate SDKs every time. All right. So you want to make sure that copy projects into workspace is unchecked. You want to make sure that's unchecked, because if it's not unchecked, then you may run into an issue because and actually you actually can do that. You can actually copy projects into the workspace, but it's a whole different more steps you need to take to do that. So for now, we're just going to do, and actually no, you know what? Let's go ahead and do copy projects into workspace, and let's do finish. All right, let's give it a second to go ahead and load in, and everything should come in fine. Excuse me there. All right, so there we are. As you see here, we have all our projects imported. We shouldn't get any errors. If you get an error, that means probably you haven't done something right, or you're missing either the Robo VM or something like that. So yeah, you want to make sure that you install that, and you should be good to go. So as you see here, if you look here in this assets folder right here, let's wait for this to finish building. We're at 58% now. Let's give it a few more seconds. And if you get like a little error here, it says something about, build workspace has a kind of problem, blah, blah, blah. This right here, just ignore it. Don't really worry about it. Just hit OK. And there we go. So as you see here, we have a little problem. Because we copied the projects into the workspace, the project lost the assets folder. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and remove these asset folders. So delete. Okay. And when you go to delete. Okay. And now what we want to do is we need to go ahead and locate the files that we actually created, or the assets. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and go to your folder wherever you copied the asset set for your project, or wherever you put the source code that you downloaded from Chupa. You want to go to that folder, and you want to go to the graphics folder. You want to go to assets, source, and then you just want to go to assets, and you just want to copy that, and copy the assets. And now you just want to go to the workspace wherever you're working at. I'm working in workspace 14. So whatever workspace you're actually in, you want to go to that workspace and put the files in there, the assets folder. So I'm in workspace 14. You may be just in workspace. So wherever you are, you should see all the projects we copied in. And now you just want to go ahead and paste item, and as you see, the assets now are there. So now what we need to do is we need to go over here and we need to reference that folder. So just right click on desktop, properties, and you want to go to Java build path source tab here and go to link source, browse, and you want to go to the workspace wherever you're working at. I'm working in workspace 14 like I stated. So I'm going to go to 14 and you want to go to assets and just hit open and finish and hit OK. And as you see there, and there's our assets right there. You see like the sound files, you see some graphic atlases, PNG files, etc., etc. And we need to do the same thing for the RoboVM or iOS project. So let's go ahead and right click, properties, and you want to go to source, link source, browse, and it should take you directly back to the workspace 14. Click assets folder, open, finish, and OK. And we should be good to go. Alright, so there we go. And one more thing that I just want to be safe with is here, you need to change this directory here. So as you see here, this is actually my computer. So what you want to do is you want to just remove this, and you want to set this path here to wherever your assets folder is. So right now our assets folder is in the workspace 14. Well, mine's in workspace 14. Yours may be in workspace 1. So you want to go and you want to get that link to that folder. So you want to go to I'm in Finder. If you're on Windows, it's basically the same thing, but you shouldn't be on Windows if you're using the iOS version. You shouldn't be anyway. So I'm going to go to Documents, and I'm going to go to Workspace 14, Assets, and I'm just going to get the link for this folder. So I'm just going to go to Get Info, and here is the link here, copy, and I'm just going to paste that link right into this directory tag here, and just add slash assets. Is it assets or is it asset? I think it's assets. Let me see here, just to make sure. Yeah, assets. Alright, so we're safe, just to be safe, and let's save that. Okay. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and run it, and let's see what we get here. And if you want to, you can go ahead and run the desktop version. It's really easy. It doesn't take as long as the iOS version. So you can just go desktop here, click, and run. And you want to make sure you click run as Java application, and you should see something pop up in a minute. Alright, there we go. And you want to just select portrait mode, and as you see, you can select different resolutions. Right now we're just working on a regular 480 by 800 portrait mode. Hit OK, and there you go. There's the game. As you see there, you get a little sounds, and there we go. Alright, so next thing is we want to go ahead and run it on the iOS version. So I actually have I actually have a real device. So, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to run it on the emulator. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and launch that, and I went ahead and launched that. So you want to go ahead and click Unblock Jelly, RoboVM, and you just want to hit the run button here, and you just want to click iOS Simulator App. And if you don't have Xcode installed, then it probably won't work. So you need to make sure you have Xcode installed, and just go ahead and run that. And it may take a few minutes. It has to build a lot of the source files, etc., etc. As you see here, it's kind of like building everything together, and it should be done in a few minutes, maybe less than that. The first time you build it, it's going to take longer because it has to compile. So it may take 2 or 3 minutes the first time, but the second time you run it, it shouldn't take that long to run. So yeah, and I always advise testing on a physical device. So make sure you have a physical device to test on. It makes it a lot easier. It makes it easier for testing too. So just gonna pause this really quickly while this launches. Like I told you guys, when you first run it, it's going to take about 10 minutes when you run it the first time, because it has to build the entire RoboVM library and compile it into a project. So when you first run it, it may take a little minute, may take a while to actually run, but eventually, it'll boot up. And the best thing to do is that when you're reskinning to just test it on desktop, and every maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes of development, go ahead and try to run it on a real iOS device or the emulator. And if you're going to be using the emulator, it's best just to leave it open and just kind of just test and go from there. And not just kind of jump around and restart it. So you just want to basically just have it here, and as you see here, we're good to go. Everything loaded up correctly. You see here, sound works. Everything works good and perfect. There we go. I'm just gonna. This level is really easy. And there we go. So we just passed a little, play the first level. Level cleared, and let's go to the next one. I'm gonna fill this level on purpose. And there we go. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And this game has interrupters already set up, and it has chart boost. It's actually using chart boost, but in the next video, I'll be showing you guys how to actually change the advertising SDK and how to basically Mopub. You need to set everything up in Mopub, and you pretty much decide what interrupters will be shown, what banners will be shown, all through Mopub. So the code is already integrated. All you need to do is just set it up in Mopub, and you have to do that on your own and go to mopub.com and set it up. If you don't know how to set it up, there's tons of instructions on how to do that. And yeah, so there we are. That is the iOS version of the Unblock Jelly source code. And yep, so in the next video, I'll be showing you guys how to basically change the Mopub advertising ID. That's all you need to do. Right now it's set up so interrupters will be shown at the end of the and actually, you know what, I'm just going to put everything in this one video. I'll just show you guys now. So if you go into the RoboVM launcher here, you'll see that you have a interrupter ad unit ID here, and you have a banner unit ID here. So basically these are all the Mopub IDs, and as you see here, what you want to do is once you set up your Mopub account, you'll be able to create interrupter ads and banners. So you just need to go ahead and get the ID from the Mopub SDK on the internet and paste it here. Get the banner ID and paste it here too. And that's all you need to do. Everything else you'll pretty much just decide inside of the Mopub SDK, Mopub portal. You'll basically decide whether to use chart boost for interrupters or banners or however you want to do it. It's all your choice, which is awesome. And so this is set up to show interrupters whenever the user fails a level. It's set up to show interrupters. So you'll see a interstitial, not an interstitial whenever the user fails a level, or I think it's every even level it may show one too. I'm not really sure, but either way it shows them. And you can actually change the testing here. You can take those off if you want. I'll leave them on. I don't think it makes a difference. It might actually, or I should take them off. You can do that though. So yep, so there we are. Everything else straightforward. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so we also this game uses Facebook too. So if you want to use the Facebook feature, you can actually take it out or you can leave it. If you want to use it, you need to make sure you change the Facebook ID. So you basically want to go into the Facebook interface here, and you want to change this app ID to your app ID. And you can leave the namespace the same. You just have to set yours the same way. And you also need to go to the info plist XML file, and it's Facebook app ID here. You need to change that to your ID also. And that's it. And that'd be it for Facebook, and it should work for you. Alright guys, so that's it for this first video for how to set it up. Hope you enjoyed, hope it wasn't too long, and I hope it helps you a lot. Good luck with the source code.